Welcome to the Wellbeing Podcast, where every episode is a step towards a healthier, happier you.
Let's grow, thrive, and shine together.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the Wellbeing Podcast. Share your thoughts and let us know in the comments what topics you'd love to hear about in future episodes.
Okay, so today...
Today, we're doing a deep dive into something that honestly feels a bit backwards, maybe?
Backwards how?
Well, we're looking at the benefits of wasting time.
Ah, right, in our super productive world.
Exactly. Productivity, efficiency, go, go, go.
Yeah.
So the idea of just, being idle, it sounds almost wrong.
I get that. But maybe it's not wrong at all.
That's what we want to unpack. Could those moments we label unproductive actually be, really valuable for our well-being? Let's dig into the research.
It's definitely a fascinating idea, this sort of paradox, isn't it? That doing nothing could actually do something important.
Yeah.
And the material we looked at, it really does suggest strong links between, idle moments and, well, creativity, for one.
Okay, creativity. Let's start there. So how does letting your mind wander actually help you solve problems or come up with ideas?
Well, think about it. When do your best ideas often hit you?
Sometimes in the shower.
Yeah.
Or maybe out for a walk. Definitely not usually when I'm staring intensely at a problem.
Exactly. There's actually research from UC Santa Barbara that found people did better on creative tasks after letting their minds wander, daydreaming, that sort of thing.
Huh. So zoning out isn't always bad.
It seems not, and it ties into this thing called the brain's default mode network, the DMN.
Right, I've heard of that.
It's most active when you're not focusing hard on something outside yourself, when your mind is just sort of roaming.
Okay.
In that roaming state, that seems to be where introspection happens, memory consolidation, and where these spontaneous creative connections get made. Your brain links things up in the background.
So stopping the active effort lets the background processing take over.
Something like that. And it's not just theory. You mentioned the shower thing. Isn't there a stat, a huge percentage of people get ideas there?
Yeah, I think I saw something like 72%, which is wild.
Yeah.
Definitely not productive time in the traditional sense.
Precisely. It shows how these everyday kind of idle moments are fertile ground. And there was another study, Stanford, I think, that found walking boosted creativity by 60% compared to sitting.
60%, wow.
Yeah.
Just from walking around.
Yeah, attributed to that mental drift, that letting your mind wander while your body moves.
Okay, so wasting time for more creativity, I'm kind of sold on that. But what about stress? Burnout. Yeah. That's a huge issue for people.
A massive one. And this downtime seems critical there, too. The research suggests these breaks, even the ones that feel unproductive, act like a pressure release valve.
A pressure release. I like that.
Yeah.
Because the pressure is definitely on. Didn't the WHO have some pretty scary numbers on burnout's cost?
They did. Estimated cost to the global economy, something like $323 billion annually.
Yeah.
Just from lost productivity due to burnout. It's staggering.
It really is.
Yeah.
So pushing constantly, it just backfires eventually. How does the wasting time actually, help prevent that drain?
Well, there was research in the Journal of Experimental Psychology, 2021. It found employees who took short, unstructured breaks.
Like what kind of breaks?
Could be anything, really. Checking social media for a few minutes, a quick chat, just stepping away. Those employees reported 23% lower stress levels.
23% lower stress just from short, maybe even kind of mindless breaks.
Seems so. It suggests even brief mental disengagement gives you a valuable breather. You need to switch off sometimes.
Yeah, you really do. It's not sustainable to be on all the time.
Yeah.
And doesn't the APA, the American Psychological Association, back this up too?
Absolutely. Their survey, also from 2021, showed a big majority, 79% of workers who regularly take breaks and have leisure time.
Yeah.
They report lower stress and greater job satisfaction. So it's not just about feeling less stressed, it's about actually liking your work more too.
So these breaks aren't just nice to haves. They're kind of essential for well-being and maybe even sticking with your job long term.
That's what the data points towards. Essential, not a luxury.
This is really shifting my perspective. Okay, so we've got creativity, stress reduction. What about learning and memory? I found that part really interesting. How does downtime fit in there?
Yeah, that's another cool angle. The idea is that your brain actually uses downtime to consolidate information, to sort of process and file away what you've learned.
So it's not passive time for the brain.
Not entirely. It's doing important background work. There was a Harvard study showing students who took regular breaks while studying retained, get this, 40% more information than students who just crammed nonstop.
40%. That's huge. So pulling an all-nighter is actually Less effective.
Potentially, yes. For long-term retention, those breaks seem crucial. Your brain needs time to embed the knowledge.
Okay, note to self, stop cramming. What kind of activities help with this consolidation? Is it just spacing out?
It could be lots of things. Napping, apparently, is great for it. But also doodling, believe it or not, or even watching funny videos. Anything that gives your focused mind a rest seems to allow that background processing to happen more effectively.
Doodling helps memory. Okay, that's unexpected. It's like you need to let the mental concrete set, right? Not keep poking it.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. All right, shifting gears a bit. Social bonds. How does wasting time with people like friends or family play into strengthening relationships?
This really taps into our need for connection. It turns out that unstructured social time, just hanging out, chatting, no real agenda, is really important. Pew Research found a strong link between that kind of time and higher life satisfaction.
That makes total sense. Some
Yeah.
of the best times are just being around people you care about, doing nothing much.
Exactly. And interestingly, a lot of people in that survey said those spontaneous, unplanned moments contributed more to their happiness than, say, big scheduled events.
Really. More than planned parties or dinners.
Yeah, there's something about the casualness, the lack of pressure, maybe, just being present together. It fosters stronger bonds. Another Pew study, more recent, found people spending at least an hour a day in unstructured leisure time reported feeling like 22% more connected and satisfied with life.
An hour a day of just chilling.
Oh, okay.
It's the small moments adding up.
Seems like it. The everyday stuff can be the real relationship glue.
Okay, another surprising angle was how this wasted time could spark, like, actual opportunities. How does that work?
It's about openness, perhaps. When you're not tunnel visioned on a specific goal, your mind is more open to noticing other things, making connections you wouldn't otherwise make.
Like serendipity.
Exactly. The
Okay.
classic example is Google's 20% time.
Well, yeah, where they let engineers work on their own projects.
Right. Seemingly wasted work time.
Yeah.
But it led to massive innovations like Gmail and AdSense.
Wow, so letting people waste time paid off hugely.
It certainly seemed to. And then you have stories like J.K. Rowling getting the idea for Harry Potter while stuck on a delayed train just daydreaming.
Another unproductive moment leading to something huge.
And there's research suggesting this isn't just anecdote. A Stanford study found people who allow for unstructured time are about 34% more likely to stumble onto new opportunities.
34% more likely.
Yeah.
Just by being less scheduled?
By creating that space for the unexpected, yeah.
Okay, so not being constantly focused might actually open more doors. Fascinating. One last point, decision-making. How do pauses help us make better choices?
It comes back to giving your brain a break. We face so many decisions every day. We get decision fatigue, right? Our mental energy gets depleted.
Definitely feel that by the end of the day.
So those moments of wasting time, those pauses, they act as cognitive breaks. They help conserve that mental energy. There was a Harvard Business School study where people who took just 15 minutes to reflect on their work performed 23% better afterwards.
Just 15 minutes of reflection boosted performance that much.
Yep. Stepping back helps you evaluate, see the bigger picture, and avoid making hasty choices just because you're mentally tired. Dr. Roy Baumeister's work really highlights how many decisions we make and how that fatigue sets in.
So taking breaks isn't just good for creativity or stress. It actually helps maintain the quality of our thinking and choices throughout the day.
That seems to be the case. It offsets that depletion.
This has been, wow, really eye-opening. So the key seems to be intentionality, right? It's not about, like, mindlessly scrolling Instagram for 3 hours.
Exactly. There's a difference between aimless, maybe even draining, distraction, and purposeful, restorative breaks.
Right, like consciously deciding to watch a comfort show without guilt or doodle or take that walk with no goal or, yeah, even just sitting and doing nothing for a bit.
Precisely. It's about embracing the pause. It reminds me of that Bertrand Russell quote.
Oh, which one?
The time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time.
Ah, yes. Love that. It seems there's a lot more truth to it than we might think. This wasted time might actually be incredibly productive in its own way for innovation, well-being, focus.
It certainly looks that way.
Thanks for listening to the Well-Being Podcast. Take care, stay inspired, and see you next.
And maybe think about this. How could you personally build in just a few small moments of intentional wasted time this week? You might be surprised. Scheduling a bit of nothing could actually be one of the most productive things you do.